And now I'm going to introduce you the next talk. It's an innovative European training pathway to support the development of a new job profile. The coordinator of shared urban vegetable gardens with a view to achieving is recognition in the vocational education and training system, thus promoting an employability in the green economy. Dr. Andrea Messori. Okay, I think you are intrigued. Yes. The floor is yours. Please, the mic. I don't know if you prefer.
No, this one is okay. Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for invitation. Okay, well, it's okay. For invitation, especially to INAP, because we have a long story that is passing through the support that the National Agency of Italy has given to this project. I will tell you why. It is a long, long story. Because it's starting when the program was named Grundvik, and we were applying for a project that was, in a sort of way, Latin community gardens, going around, looking for other community gardens, recognizing practices, exchanges practices, and we were bringing people in other countries, discovering one thing, that these people were not really digging the land. They were not really cultivating any tomatoes. So why are you participating to this exchange, really? Because we are the one in the community gardens that are taking care about humans. We are cultivating people inside the community garden. Quite interesting discovery, because there was someone inside the community gardens, and it was the same United Kingdom, in Spain, in Greece, in Italy. So we have something in common. We have a function of coordination, a function of mediation that was in a sort of way growing people inside the land instead of growing vegetables. Quite interesting. So we go on and we say, okay, it would be great to understand how these people are acting, which are the competencies they have. And we start for an adult education project using Leonardo da Vinci, transfer of innovation. Why transfer of innovation? Because we discovered that in France, the Ministry of Education has codified everything about what is this profile of coordinator, setting all the competencies, never applying no one of these rules in practice really. So they study, they establish, they put a regulation, they never use it in practice. Interesting, okay? A lot of intellectual work without using it. The other side, United Kingdom, we have a lot of use of it. No one line codified. It means everything was empiric, nothing was analytic. France, everything was analytic, nothing empiric. Italy, nothing empiric, nothing analytic. So we have to find a way to put everything together. First barrier in Europe is to understand each other. So the only way we found to name something that does not exist and that is not the same in each country is to give and to choose a name that doesn't mean anything for anybody. So we have to find something that doesn't mean anything in English, anything in French, anything in Italian, anything in Greek, anything in Spanish. Garden organizer. We created Gardeniser. Everybody, yes, thank you very much. It doesn't mean anything in my country. So we can finally sit down together, exchange, and create what is this kind of profile. And here we are arriving to INAP, okay? Because at a certain moment we say, okay, this is coming from what? This is coming from adult education in a non-formal way. But if we want that everybody is recognizing this function, we have to pass through vocational education and training. Not because you are forced to do it, but because this sector is offering the possibility through AGVET system, so the system of credits, through everything that is the codification of competencies, learning outcomes, and so on, to give a certain kind of framework that is in a certain way can be common, so you can easily use it at European level, understanding each other, and each one of us can have a recognition at local level because you can always transfer and translate the credits in the way you want. This is the Bologna process, no? Do what you want. This is more or less the synthesis of it. So we agree together at an international, I'm simplifying, of course. It's only a way of exposition, that's all. But in a certain way, it's a way that it's more easy also to be understood, because in this way we create a training course for Gardeniser, and we put something that is coming from the vocational education and training. Gardeniser Pro, professional. Why? Because even if not in all the countries this profession is paid, it doesn't matter, because it's the profile that is offering something professional to the people. So it's the approach that is professional. What happened? We finished the project, and in United Kingdom, in the professional, in the job centers, some job profiles start to appear under the title Gardeniser Pro. In Italy, someone starts to pay for this kind of people to make this kind of work that was not defined, and some people get money for it. In France, they start to say, oh, we have codes and rules, so why don't we apply it? Animateur de jardin. It was existing already before, but nobody was thinking to use it in a professional way. So what was happening in order to arrive to the continuous of the story, because it's not never-ending story. It's a never-ending story, because in this moment, these two people that are coming from Social Farms and Garden, that is the Federation of British Community Gardens Association in United Kingdom, they are still in because of Erasmus+. Huh? We use in a strategic way the last project that is named Gardeniser Hub, that is now going on for the next 2 years, and we wrote together the project suggesting kindly to the Federation in United Kingdom to apply before they exit also Erasmus+. So they are still in for this reason. They are the coordinator, so they are titled to be inside at least until the end of the project. But they were by chance here in Rome this week together with us in order to prepare the next Gardeniser Pro. Yeah, there is another Gardeniser Pro. So what we have prepared during the project and experimented during the project under Erasmus VET is now realized again in July. We have again another 25 people participating to this training course. There is also the question that in the meanwhile, the city of Rome has been nominated as a good practice around Europe about community gardens, thanks to the joining of Gardeniser Pro work and urban program that is for the cities, only for municipalities, because they have a problem. The problem is, being the movement of community gardens so in development, how we can tackle the question of governance. And they discover that the Gardeniser can be a perfect trait d'union, okay, piece of connection, a perfect connector between also the institutional world and the civic society. So these things goes together, and we start also to work with them, and now there is Krakow that is working on it. There is La Coruña that is working on it. There is Thessaloniki that is working on it. And I can continue to mention a lot of cities that are taking this experience, and they are working on their countries on the question of community garden, but changing the way of establishing the governance. It means applying really horizontal subsidiarity, and sometimes also, because they are very experimentalist people, they also believe on the circular subsidiarity. It means to put the civic society at their place and accept that they are designing green policies in their city. Why? Because they consider community garden in terms of green, not only a stakeholder, but also an hub, a policy hub where to pass through. So it's really, really interesting. Is it the story finished? No, because we receive also from EuroPaid now a grant for 3 years to go to Latin America, where Colombia and the city of Barranquilla will exploit all the work we have done in Europe in order to make an experimentation in their country, because they have a lot of communities that are coming from Venezuela, Peru, and so on, that are simply transferring in the big cities of Colombia because they are more rich, there is more place, there is more work. And there, they catch the point immediately. we are working together with employment services of Barranquilla because they immediately understand that the profile can be a work and they are available as a municipality to pay for it in order to have a possibility really to govern the situation and to profit about it. Is at the end of the story. It means at the end of 3 years from now, so 2025, it will be finished. I don't think so. Because the question is that in Barranquilla, there is some observators. São Paulo do Brazil, Tuzla, Mexico, and Lima from Peru. And they are there to observe because there is the Inter-American Bank of Investment that is saying, I'm sitting behind the curtains. When you finish your experimentation, I will judge if it is the case to invest some millions of dollars on the development of community gardens in Latin America. I don't know if I will survive until when I will see this evolution, but this is more or less what is happening. And everything started from a key passage, passing from empiric to analytic, but using Erasmus Plus as a tool to make it recognizable, to make different sectors of education, of institutions, of civil society, finding a common vocabulary and having a common glossary in order to understand each other. That was the key question, and for that I thanks a lot INAP, because to invest in accepting a project that is coming from non-formal sector, passing through adult education and be financed by vocational education and training, believe me, is a challenge. Especially for a national agency, is also a risk. If they were failing, what we can tell to the Commission, why we spend the money in this way instead of another one. They make this challenge, and we thank you for doing it, and I hope that you are happy about the result as we are. But the question is, again, if you want to know about, okay, what is the concrete follow-up? I bring you a piece of follow-up. So I pass the floor to the follow-up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Orsetta, and this is Elinor. Yeah, I wanted to ask if we could put the website up. But, so we are one of the first Gardeniser Pro from Social Farm and Gardens. We work for different organizations, but microphone, sorry, I never used one before, so there you are. So I work in London for an organization called Urban Growth, and I did the training, and it really helps to, as a Gardeniser, yes, as Andrea said, you don't do the growing, or you do some of the growing, but it's more organizing everything that is part of a project. So you need to know about engaging people, finance, organizing events, and the Gardeniser prepares you for all of this. It gives you a basic knowledge for all the things that you need to do to organize a garden, which you think is very easy to organize a garden, but it's not, because there's, you know, yeah. And we did in 2019, so we became Gardenisers, and then now we're part of the Gardeniser Hub, so we are becoming teachers, so we can then teach other people to become Gardenisers. And we're here in Rome this week to help Andrea with Replay Network, because they collaborate with Social Farms and Gardens to do or set up the training that then it will happen in July. So that's it. There you are.
I just wanted to say, yeah, I'm Ellen. I live in Edinburgh, and I work for the Botanics, and in there it's all about plants. And for a long time I was just not just a gardener, but I was a gardener. But at one point in my life, I felt like I need something a bit more meaningful. So I went and did community gardening. So how many of you have heard community gardeners? Hands up. No, okay, 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, thank you. How many knew about Gardeniser before today? No, and how many now after Andrea spoke? Yeah. That's an achievement then. So that's good, that's exactly what we want, because part of it, as a community gardener, if you want to be a gardener, you can go and study in really prestigious horticulture training. But as a community gardener, there wasn't anything. So what happens is you end up in that job, and then you find yourself having to manage volunteers, you're having to you know, manage projects that are really out of your comfort zone. So you're expanding faster than you're learning, managing. And so when I heard about the Gardeniser, I really felt like finally we are being recognized that our job is not just growing plants, it's so much more. It's just, and for me, it's always been about people and plants. So, but then to realize that actually we have to learn as well about finance. It's not my strength. It's always been people. So, but you know, so to be able to recognize that, for me, that was really important. So that's why I did the training, even though I had like 20 years experience. But I needed that. I need that it needs to be recognized that this is a green job that's really important. And we do so much, not just for the environment, but for people and well-being. It just covers so many things. So yeah, I'm really passionate.
So in conclusion, everything we have presented now, if you have not understood anything about this presentation, don't worry, it is recorded. Anyway, you can see it again, but in any way, everything is there. Gardeniser.eu is in 5 languages. You can go through. There is the question of what is a Gardeniser, which are the credits associated to it. There is all the intellectual output has been developed, written, put it there in different languages. You can download it for free for there. So you can also create your own training course of Gardeniser if you want, no problem. But there is also a possibility here to have certain services for these people. You see why these photos are passing, because it's personal branding. We are using the website all around the world in order to also to promote these people. And there is a map where you can find where are the Gardeniser settled. You can look for the Gardeniser that was more near to you in terms of proximity, is also to carbon price, we go less, no, in a certain way. There is also the possibility to have a map to see where are the community gardens. Perhaps you are looking for them, you don't know where they are, so they have the possibility to register again. There is also the license for the trainers, that is the new activity we are doing now with Gardeniser Hub. Soon we will have also what is the next future. That is the question of Gardeniser Tech, the training course for municipalities and public functionaries that has to govern this process. And the other side, Gardeniser Edu, what has been approached to masters of the school and teachers, you know, how to use the opportunities that community garden is given to the school in order to use them as a learning environment. This is more or less the things that are the future, but we are working, of course, on something else, that is to develop another service here, a calculator that is giving the possibility to have an index of community impact of the community gardens on the community. To find a way to do what? To attract investment from social responsibility enterprises, because they don't need to spend money to wash their face. They need to spend money to have real impact. But if you don't offer to them the possibility to know how much is impactful what they are supporting, it will be difficult. So that is, but is it already a project? No, we are writing on it. Next deadline, okay? 2023. Thank you very much, everybody.